Hey guys, I'm Chef Tom with All Things Barbecue, and today we'll be roasting a boneless prime rib roast. So what we have here is about 10 pounds of prime rib roast. This is a boneless prime rib roast from Creekstone Farms, all natural, a really beautiful piece of meat. You can see all of this fat that's running through the meat, just all the way through there. That's gonna baste our meat while we cook it. And that's the reason why we don't need all of this fat that's sitting on top of the meat. All this fat cap is gonna do is prevent us from getting smoke and flavor down into that meat. So this hard fat on top, it kind of peels away on its own, just needs a little help. What we wanna do is work our way just down to the meat and take that hard fat off. And then if we get to some places where we can find some silver skin, we're gonna take that off as well. That silver skin, it really doesn't break down in the cooking process. So you end up just chewing on it in the end. So this is a really good example of that silver skin I was referring to. That's really tough, and we don't want to chew on that. All right, you see we've worked the fat cap off the top all the way over here to this side. And what we have here is this chain that runs along the side. Now most of this, really hard fat down the whole side of this prime rib roast. So we're gonna go ahead and take off the majority of that fat. So you will find that there's that little bit of meat in there, but I can cut this open and show you mostly fat. So you can see that there's some meat in there, but that's a lot of hard white fat. And this still isn't bad eating. What I like to do is peel off the fatty parts, throw the meat on the grill, and that's a snack for the cook. Now I know when you guys are at home and you've invested some money into this really beautiful piece of meat, it may feel counterintuitive to be trimming away at it, but really that's exactly the reason why you want to give this thing the care and attention to detail that it deserves. Now we've got our roast all trimmed up and it's time to move on to seasoning. We're going to kick this off with some House of Q Slow Smoke Gold mustard slather. Now that we've got that covered, we're gonna hit it with some rub. This is really one of my favorite beef rubs. This is Our Butts Are Smokin' Our Beef Rub. And it's got some great savory elements to it. I love the garlic, the onion, the paprika. But what we're going for here is a savory flavor profile. And this rub, it's gonna give us a nice saltiness on the outside, but it's also got just a touch of sugar, and that paprika, that red color, that's gonna make a beautiful caramelized exterior. Now you don't have to do much research to know that there are a lot of different ways to cook prime rib. In the past, you've seen us do coffee crusted prime rib. We've done a savory reverse seared prime rib. Sometimes you see folks roasting their prime rib on top of a bed of vegetables, and they're all great ideas. But sometimes the best way to treat a beautiful piece of meat like this is the simplest way to treat it. So for us today, that's a mustard slather, a little bit of rub, and then a 400-degree roast in the smoker. Now for those that are interested, we're cooking with cherry and pecan pellets in our Yoder Smokers YS640 pellet grill today. And this pellet grill, it has a diffuser plate that separates the fire from the cooking chamber and allows us to cook with indirect heat. But that diffuser plate puts off some radiant heat of its own, so we're gonna be cooking our roast a little further away so we can take care of all of the surfaces on the outside of that roast. All right, we're just rolling past 115 degrees, so we're gonna go ahead and pull off our prime rib and let it rest. All right, so in just under 2 hours, we have a really nice crust on the outside. Almost to 120 internal right now. That's gonna continue to rise a bit, but we're gonna let that rest for half an hour, let those juices redistribute before we slice into it. So here in the center, we get our nice pink area. Just tons of juice in there. So you can start cutting in here in the middle for those who like it a little more rare, and work your way out for those who like it a little more done. And I think this right here is going to be my piece. Wow. That's just super tender. Melts in your mouth. I got to get some of this crust too, though. Yep. That's where the salt is. Big flavor on the inside, big tenderness right in the middle. That's really awesome. So I'd recommend reserving all that juice, because you can throw your slices back in there, keep them warm. And there's a ton of flavor in that juice. So you want to make sure you get that on the plate as well. You know, for me, this recipe is a great example that you don't always have to overcomplicate things to get a fantastic result. And I hope that if you've been on the fence about trying this at home, this will give you the encouragement to give it a try, because it's not all that hard. Thanks so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed the video, please click the subscribe button. And if you have any questions or comments, or there's anything you'd like to see me cook, let me know in the comments section down below. For more recipes, tips, and techniques, head over to thesauce.atbbq.com. All things barbecue, where barbecue legends are made.